us an update on Andre Berto? Saw he's back training.
He's back training. No date yet. Nothing on the books, no opponent, anything. But he's back training.
He's a guy who's really mentally tough and definitely not really at the end of his rope of his career. Who would you like to see him in against next?
Well, anybody that's, competitive and anybody that's known to the boxing world, I mean, that's the level that he's at. And, they would provide the fans with a real good fight and, provide him with the necessary motivation to train and perform, that night. So anybody that's well known, and there's a lot of people in this division, it's a very stacked division, so I don't think he has to go looking for a good fight.
Now, I know it's been kind of a hot button topic, and other people might have asked you this, but in terms of the pound for pound list, where do you put Andre Ward right now?
Well, you know what? It's like I told the other guy, just leave it to the fighters. You should leave it to the fighters, my opinion, it kind of stays with me, but it doesn't mean anything to anybody else, so you don't cast your pearls to the swine, So, but he's a great fighter.
Do you think that maybe it's his inactivity that's the reason that some people have him obviously ranked higher than number one, lower than number one?
I don't know. That's the hand he's been dealt. That's the hand he has to deal with. So, again, but the peers know. I mean, I've seen people say he's number one. I see all the fighters say that.
Right.
But then you have writers and everybody else. They have other opinions, and they're entitled to that. There's a lot of great fighters out there. And if activity is one of the criteria to be on that list, then so be it.
At the end of the day, is that list, as a trainer of world-class fighters, world champions, does that list mean anything to you?
It doesn't mean much to me, but it's a good thing for fans. You have to have the fan support. It's a good thing for the writers. They have to have something to write about. I think it's a good thing for the promoters at the bargaining table. It keeps the suspense and the excitement in the sport. So, I mean, it has its place.
So there's talk about Andre facing Sullivan Barrera next. Is that, to your understanding, is that what the next move is going to be?
Well, he's on the list of guys who's there, so they're negotiating now. But you know how the sport is until I hear who it is. You never can tell what happened, but he's scheduled to fight March 26th, and we're going to make sure he's in the ring that night against somebody.
Do you think that Sullivan Barrera, is there anything he can do in the ring to potentially give Andre problems? Like, what do you think is his strong suit, in your opinion?
Of course, anybody to get in that ring can give you problems. So he's hungry. He's proven that he was ready for the next step with the top of the division. So of course he can give you problems in the ring. If you don't think so, you're mistaken. So it's a very serious fight. It's a very dangerous fight. So you have to prepare as such.
So last question, you're here in LA for the Danny Garcia versus Robert Guerrero fight week. Can you kind of break down how you think that fight might go?
Very interesting fight. If you had to go back and look, you would say that Danny has an edge. Both of them have been in Danny's been in some controversial fights, and Guerrero's been in some tough fights. So I think all the elements are present, for a very good Saturday night, because each man does have something to prove. One trying to prove that it's not over, and the other one trying to prove that he's not a fluke, and some of the criticisms that he's endured, his past couple of fights.
How do you feel about that fight being for a title? Do you think that that's worthy of a title fight? Do you know the WC just announced that it's for a belt?
Yeah, I heard that. Really, it doesn't affect me one way or the other. I respect both men. Both men have been champions. So, when both men have been champions, we really can't down it that much, because, it exists in boxing that, things just turn out different than what other people might think sometimes, regardless of what you think. So, I mean, but both of them are champions. When they're introduced that night, they're going to be introduced as two-time, or Robert, I believe, three-time.
Three times, yeah.
Champion, and Danny, champion moving up in another weight class. So they definitely deserve the accolades. So, I mean, we just finished talking about the rankings, so evidently the WBC doesn't see the rankings like some of the media sees the rankings. So, again, that's boxing. When you have those types of conflicts, you really put yourself in a bad mental state trying to figure it out. So I don't figure it out. I just encourage the kids to just win. Something to happen, you know. Right.